Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta. Let's take a deep dive into the 80s with a LEXICON PCM70 digital effect processor. Alright, deep dive into the 80s again, this time with a LEXICON PCM70 and with my Gibson Les Paul Standard from 89, Marshall JZ Mainhardy 2203 from 85 with EL34s, boosted with Buzz SD1. That's not from the 80s, but you know, it was released in the 80s. Then into a Marshall cabinet with Marshall vintage speakers, released in the 80s. My cab is early 2000s, so it's only 20 years old. But, you know, it was originally released in the 80s. So, yeah. The preset I had now was called Ping Pong Mod. And I'm just gonna go through a couple of presets here with guitar and then later with drums and stuff, because there's really cool also gated reverbs and stuff. And the setup is, you know, the cabinet is in another room, mic with a, what do we have here? Frame style, so 257s, and then a touch of SE Electronics VR1 ribbon mic in there. So it goes there. Then I have many effects here that I can control with the solid state Logic's faders. So now I have the PCM70, you know, here. And I'm monitoring myself via Eve Audio's SC3070 3070 monitors. Really good ones. I've been trying them out for a while and oh boy, no subwoofer, nothing. Sounds great. I'll do a video about them a bit later. So that's the signal chain. And you know, many guitar players, they use these effects that were originally intended to be used in the studios, like they were. And then when they wanted to replicate, you know, the sounds live, enters the huge racks with, you know, line mixers and whatnot. So basically they used the gear that the mixing engineer producer, you know, had used on the album, and they used that, you know, live. Like, you know, Zakk Wylde used a Yamaha SPX90, which I have here. You know, the mixing engineer used that on the album for chorusing, and then Zakk ended up using it in his rack. And by the time the No More Tears tour was, he was using just 2.8 JZ Mainhardy and split with the Boss CE5 that I have here, because, you know, live is live. At the end of the day, who hears, you know, do you have a, you know, PCM70 delay or just some regular Boss Tampax? I don't think anybody cares. At least not me. But anyway, that was the time. I used to have a big refrigerator rack too, and I think they're kind of coming back a little bit. You know, I recently bought my SPX90 again. I had one back in the day. So, you know, they have a character. So let's go through a couple of the of the sound. These are all just presets. So if we go to bank 0, there's this E chorus, which I think is pretty cool. So yeah, this it says chorus, but it's essentially delay with a chorus. Short delay with some modulation. Then bank 0 tunnel. This is a tunnel, room. Cool. Then power, that wasn't not the 6-voice combo. I think there's kind of like a reverb on the left and some delays, apparently 6 voices or something, but it's kind of cool reverb slash delay. I really like this 6 voice. It's one of my favorites. Preset 5 for strings. Well, this was kind of just big eerie, you know, room hall reverb. Doesn't necessarily work with electric guitars. Maybe just a little bit blended in. Yeah, actually, when you blend that in, and if you're wondering why there's no recording happening, it's because I'm screen recording this, you know, because I'm doing these changes, so the screen recording works the best for this. This is a flange of echo. Okay, let's add a little bit of eventide. Back off the eventide. So it's a little bit flanger, you know, because this is mostly known as a reverb or delay unit, but there's, you know, some flanges and stuff too. Choruses. A is auto chorus. and delay, and obviously you can edit these to your liking, but I guess unlike most of the guitar players, even though I do mixing, I do a lot of tweaking, but with guitars usually I'll just go with the presets whenever I'm mixing. You find a good one and then you just blend that in according to taste. Okay, then let's move to preset bank number 1. That was bank 0, and yeah, this one is a V3 version, chip version or whatever. This is one of my favorites too, Ping Fang Mod. Why since I played that, just while. Why been a while? But yeah. You know, it's ping pong. Then 6 across. It actually really strange. But cool, kind of using a mix pro like a throw delay or something if you want to end up the solo, you know. With this one, you know. So kind of 80s stuff. And there's a really cool reverbs. Let's check out Saten Hall. I guess on the previous V2 this was called Concert Hall. I'm not sure if this is the same, but this is kind of like legendary 80s, bigger than life, you know, strings and synths. It does something really strange there, like, and kind of comes and goes, so a bit weird, if you will, with distorted guitar and electric guitar in general, but works pretty well on strings and such. Soft echoes. This is kind of like slapback delay, a little bit room. works probably really well with vocals and lots of other stuff. Okay, let me take some mix, and I kinda, cause I mean, you know, most of you probably are guitar players, but if there's people like me who also produce, record, mix, master stuff, I'm always interested in that. Does a certain device work on some other than only guitars? And I can say already in advance that it does, because this wasn't, like I said, made just for guitar, but as a studio multi-effect processor, mainly focusing on creating spaces with reverbs and different delays. All right, now let's go to the mix. All right, so this is a Cyhra song from our forthcoming album. I believe it's going to be the next single released in a short while. And on the original mix, I used Tegeler's roundside machine as my main drum reverb, and I sent a little bit rhythm guitars to that too. But now I'm using the PCM70, and now I have the medium room. So let's listen to the song. Then I'll solo and, you know, mute things so you'll hear, and then let's check out a couple of other reverb presets on the PCM70.
Each tone is a brick of a history. Decisions and deeds form reality. You have borrowed your mother's eyes. Don't miss out on principles. Life will be a rodeo. I hope to be a part of all. 'Cause there will come a time when
So what I did, I'm sending a little bit of the real kick, a little bit of kick sample, a little bit of snare top, snare sample, and snare bottom, a little bit more bottom. I don't usually I just send it from the sample because then it's clean, but now it just worked because I managed to gate the kick fairly well if we check out it. So there was not much bleed from the other drums on this recording. Then a little bit toms, a little bit overheads, and quite a lot of room. So just to make the room a little bit bigger, I really like this. And then I'm also sending guitars. So this Bass 28 goes to this channel. This is a Dimension D, it's actually Dimension C pedal set to the Dimension D Bucket Brigade mode. Analog, you know, pedal. I'll do a video about that too, how you can use it like in the mixing. And then I'm sending also to the PCM70 to make the guitars a little bit, you know, tiny amount wider. I'm not sending much to both of these, but just a little bit. Okay, then let's check out the drums, and let me change the reverb to something. Let's see how Vox Chamber sounds. Okay, that doesn't really work with drums. Surprisingly, it's Vox Chamber, Kick Chamber. I bet this could be a bit too much for all drums, but let's see.
Don't miss out on friends or foes. Life will be a rodeo. I hope.
Definitely the kick sounds. It adds this certain attack and stuff, but it works surprisingly well on the whole drum set. Let's check out a snare chamber.
I hope to be a part of.
Works pretty well too, but I think my favorite is this medium room. Like you heard, not just the guitar effect processor, the medium room is actually really good for drums. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you found this interesting and informative. All the best. See you on the next one. Bye.